U.S. President Donald Trump has said that he will restrict federal funds for New York City, and that is if Democrat candidate Zohran Mamdani wins the city's mayoral election.
And of course, this statement came on his Truth Social platform. Trump said it's highly unlikely that he'd provide federal funds beyond the minimum if Mamdani wins. He went on to call Mamdani's principles a complete failure and said New York City would face economic and social disaster under Mamdani's leadership.
Trump added he'd prefer to see a Democrat, with a proven record of success. While speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One, Trump once again called Mamdani a communist.
It's a disaster waiting to happen. We can't have a communist in charge of a great, supposedly free enterprise, kind of a representative city. So I think if you have a communist mayor, I think it's going to be very tough for him and for the city.
In response to U.S. President Donald Trump's threat to withhold federal funds from New York City, mayoral candidate Mamdani has urged New Yorkers at his final campaign rally to stand up to bullies. Listen to this.
I will address that threat for what it is. It is a threat. It is not the law. And too often we treat everything that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth as if it is already legal just by virtue of who is saying it. And it is time to finally stand up to the bullies that make these threats, not to become the bullies ourselves. And we've seen time and time again that the best way to respond to Donald Trump and to defeat these kinds of threats is to actually stand up and fight back.
After Donald Trump, tech billionaire Elon Musk has also thrown his support behind Andrew Cuomo, advising voters to reject Zohran Mamdani in the mayoral race.
In response, Mamdani has accused both Trump and Musk of fearing his progressive agenda, as he calls it. He said they were worried his leadership would achieve the goals that they've promised but failed to deliver.
Mamdani added they fear the power of an example that shows it doesn't have to be this hard to call this city home.
Polls show Mamdani leading against former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who is running as an independent after losing to Mamdani in the Democratic primary, and Republican nominee Curtis Silver, the founder of the Guardian Angels. At Washington Square Park near New York University, young voters weighed in on the mayoral race. Some described the election as a broader referendum on the city's direction, while others said that it highlights deepening political divisions across the country.
For me, Zohran was the most clear about his intended goals and the ways he was going to reach them. For instance, like matching the corporate tax rate to that of Jersey's 11.5% and explaining the mechanisms by which he was going to do that. I think a lot of the other candidates, especially Cuomo, whenever I did my research, it was far more vague and it was a lot more kind of normative assertions about what's right and what's wrong and what's good and not. But it's like, at the end of the day, what are you going to do?
Having someone create such a big platform from a grassroots standpoint against someone like Cuomo, who's gotten billions of dollars from investors and even recently got endorsed by Trump, I believe. It's kind of a test to see, like, can we still do this as a democracy, or are we going to fall the way that we've been following ever since, I guess, 2016?
And for more on this, our correspondent Susan Terani has sent us this report from New York. Listen in.
I'm standing outside Gracie Mansion, the official residence of the next mayor of New York City. On November 4th, New Yorkers will cast their ballots in a high-stakes mayoral race between Zohran Mamdani, the Democrat, Andrew Cuomo, who is running as an independent, and Curtis Sliwa, the Republican candidate. This election comes almost exactly 1 year before the 2026 U.S. midterm elections, making it more than just a local contest. What happens here could ripple out to shape the national mood, party strategies, and how voters respond to broader issues across the country. From housing affordability to public safety to rebuilding trust in government, the next mayor has a long list of challenges to tackle. With this race becoming a national reference point, all eyes are now on New York City. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION World is One.